Hey guys, today I'll be completing Resolute from HackTheBox. This was a 30-point medium Linux box created by Egress. Overall, this box is pretty straightforward and simple, with one minor caveat near the end. We start this box off with our nmap scan, and we find that port 135 is open and that we can connect to it with rpcclient. After enumerating the users and querying them for info, we find a password. We write a script to test each of the passwords against the user list, and we find that the credentials for the user Melanie work on the box. After some further enumeration, we find a PowerShell transcript that has the password for the user Ryan. And once we get on the box as Ryan, we're able to escalate as root through a dnsadmin exploit. So, well, it's not really an exploit. It's more of like you shouldn't be dnsadmin anyway. But let's go ahead and get started on the box. Okay, we start this box off with our nmap scan, sv, sc, oa, put in the nmap directory, and we'll call it Resolute. And the IP address is 10.10.10.169. I've already run this, so let's take a look at the command. Okay, we see port 53 is open on TCP. Whenever this happens, you just want to check to make sure it's not vulnerable to DNS zone transfer. With dig, not diff, dig, and the transfer failed. So this is useless. We see some other pretty standard Windows ports on the box, no web server, but we have rpcclient. We have LDAP, we have another LDAP. So let's go ahead and see if we can connect to rpcclient with rpcclient -u, no username, and the IP address, no password, and we get rpcclient. From this, you can just question mark to see all of the commands that are available to you. The ones that interest us are anything that can tell us about usernames, groups, domain groups, things like this. So we'll start with enumdomusers, which is enumerate domain users. So enumdomusers, and we get a list. So I'm going to go ahead and start notes with a markdown file, and we'll just call this Resolute, and the IP, and we're going to start in enumeration, rpcclient, copy that. There we go. Okay, and from here, we're going to see if we can query any information about the users. You can do this with queryuser, and you can either use the ID here or the name. So if we were looking at, let's look at Ryan, and I did Ryan with his ID, it'll tell us all about Ryan. Or I could use his name, which is Ryan, and it'll give us the same info. So that's useful. So we want to look at those users again and go down the list, because we don't see any information about Ryan here that is particularly useful, but we might find something against another one of these users. So we can query user Marco, and we see in the description field that we have an account created and his password was set to welcome123. So I want to go ahead and try seeing if we can list any shares with Ryan with smbclient, and we'll just use -l, and it's 10.10.10.169. And we can do this without a username or password, and we see anonymous login as successful, or anonymous login as successful, but we don't see any share names. So it doesn't really do anything for us, but we can specify a user with u, and This would be Marco, and percent and the password. So welcome 123, like this. I'm not sure if it has to be in quotes, but we get a logon failure. So that did not work with Marco, but we can try this with all of our other users that we have. So I'm going to script this real quick, just because I think it'll be faster. Let's call this smbserver.py. And we're going to import OS for this because we're going to eventually want our command to be a string that we then pass to os.execute command. And we're going to run this in a for loop for I and users. And we're going to create a list of users. And the password is welcome 123, like that. So for I and users, we're going to execute a command string, and the command string is going to be pretty much smbclient minus u plus user, which is actually going to be I because we're doing for I and users. And then we're going to add the password. Then we're going to add list. We need double the amount of these because it's going to escape that, I think. Maybe we need another one. Yeah. Okay. Like that. Okay, so now we just need our user list, which we have in our notes. I'm just going to copy this. Okay. And we'll put this in a users file. Cat users, and we're going to cut on that colon, and we're going to grab the second field. So then that grabs that, and we'll put this into user list, and we'll just rm users because we have user list now. I want to delete everything after each one of these lines, so we'll just go down the list. There's probably a better way to do this, but I could probably use sed or awk maybe would print on like maybe $1 or $2. I'm not for sure. At this stage, since it's a smaller list, this is just going to be faster. If it was a larger list, I would probably stop and automate it, just like I'm kind of doing this instead of trying that command with all of these users. And in the future, I'll have it in the event I need it. So we're just going to replace the beginning of each line. You can see down here, I'm just running, I hit the colon and then %s for sed. And we're going to change the beginning of the line to a quote. Do that globally. And we're going to do the same thing to the end of the line, which is just $1. And then we're gonna delete these because those are unnecessary. And then we're going to replace each new line character with a comma and a space. Now we have our comma separated list. We'll just delete this last comma, save that, and we can just read this into users. So we'll just read user list into the file like that. And we have our user list. Now we have our user list. Okay, so we have user's password, and our command is a string. Our command is going to be smbclient minus u plus the username plus percent plus password plus list. And because we're not going to know which user is doing this, we're going to also print current user that plus I okay, and let's see if this works. I might have made an error. Module, oh, this is not execute. That would be Lua, I believe. So we want to do os.system command. And I've made a terrible mistake. There's not enough slash characters in service. So let's print our command and see what we've done wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, there's not a space here. We definitely need a space there. There, like that. Okay, so then we can get rid of this, try it again. Okay, and we're getting logon failures for each of these. Except we get one for Melanie. So I would like to put this in my notes. Edit anyway. No, I have notes open. Let's just quit. It's on this one. Okay, so then we'll say we got in as Melanie with the Python script. And we found this. These are what you can read. And so now that we have valid credentials for Melanie, I want to try using evil-winrm on 10.10.10.169. Minus u is Melanie, and it'll ask for the password. Welcome 123, exclamation point. And we're in as Melanie. So if we go back to our desktop, we can look at it, and we see we have user.text. So we can just go ahead and download user.text. And we can see that we can read user.text. So we've got user. Now we need to escalate privileges. So after some enumeration on the box, we can find a hidden directory called PS transcripts. So if we go into this directory, did that work? Oh, that was capitalized wrong, but Windows is weird. Yeah, okay, and then we'll go in here, and then we'll look at what's in here, and we see a transcript. So let's see if we can go ahead and grab this with download. Doesn't want to work. So we can just type that, and we see all the contents. So let's go ahead and copy this back to our box. And we found this, and now we're on privesc. So we found this on C, PS transcripts. Yeah, that's right. That, and then that. And we see in this file that we have credentials for Ryan. So I'm just going to copy these and put them on a new line. Threads for Ryan, maybe. Okay. Let's go back here. And I'm just going to split the pane. And we're going to move this up. And I want his creds on the screen, though. There we go. Server admin for CC123. So we can try winrm again. And we're on the box as Ryan. So from here, we can see who we are as with who am I. And we can see the groups we're a part of with who am I / groups. And we see that we're a member of dnsadmins. So this is a tricky part about this. Being a DNS admin is great because you can escalate to domain admins. And this took me a little while to figure out how to do, because at the time I did this box, there wasn't really a great post on explaining how to do this. But the way that I thought that I could do it was by pretty much changing the server plugin DLL that is used with DNS admins, and you pretty much do that by just doing like dnscmd, the name, which is resolute.megabit.local, and specify the config and server level plugin DLL and the IP. So I thought that you could do this with 1010. What's my IP? 1010.14.38. So 1010.14.38, which I believe that at some point in my life I've done this and it worked. And then specify your totally legit .dll and it would load it. But we're going to test this real quick, and it doesn't work. So let's go ahead and create a payload with msfvenom, and we're going to use Windows x64 shell reverse TCP. Specify the host, which is 1010.14.38, and we'll do 1337. And we'll format this as a DLL, and we'll put it in totally legit .dll. Did I do that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, and then we're gonna set up a Python server, HTTP server on port 80. We have a server running on port 80. And wait for this to finish. It'll tell us about our payload, and we can continue. So payload's done. So what we can do is we can specify our totally legit DLL, and it sets it. Now, when we restart this dnscmd service, it should call out to our DLL, which I guess I should set a netcat listener on 1337. And we just sc.exe DNS, no, stop DNS, and it works. And then we can start DNS, and you can see we are not getting a callback. So we can try it a couple more times. and we're not getting a callback. So this took me a while to figure out, but you can also call DLLs via SMB servers. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to specify an SMB server, and we are going to use I think I just have it, right? smbserver.py? Yeah. Okay, and the way you do this is just like this, which is exactly what we're going to do. Now we'll use Resolute. So we'll say minus comment my share, and we'll call it temp, and then we'll just say root HTTP write-ups Resolute, like that. What have I done? Oh, single quote. Okay, so now we have an SMB server running, and the name of it is TMP. So we can go back to wow, I have a lot of panes open. We don't want this anymore. So this can just go away. So we want 3, and we can specify our SMB server at 10.10.14.38 TMP totally legit DLL, like this. Okay, and then we're gonna stop, and we're gonna start, and we see we get a callback to our SMB, right? We can see, I guess, Resolute, Megabank, the disconnecting share. It called back to our server. When we go back, we can see that we got a callback to our shell. So it worked over SMB, but it did not work over HTTP. And we can see who am I? NT authority system, and we can go to C administrators or administrator desktop C users administrator desktop, and we can see there is a root.txt 32 bytes. We could read it. Okay, and that pretty much sums it up for this box. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys hopefully next week.